and Eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
There is a new opportunity for girls in Eastern Kentucky to study science, technology, engineering, and math. A new scholarship program in honor of the late Carol Barr, Congressman Andy Barr's wife, was announced. And as Jim Stratman reports, it's something that can have an impact for generations of women in STEM.
A new opportunity, a chance at following a dream. Officials announced the Carol Barr Fund STEM Scholarship Program to be just that.
The legacy we leave are the lives that we touch. And to Andy Barr, and to Carol Barr, and to Dr. Murray, and to so many who are going to be a part of this, you're going to touch the lives of so many young women.
Carol Barr passed away in June of 2020 from a heart condition called mitral valve prolapse. But before that, she was a woman in STEM.
Carol was a wonderful mother, and if we can support a future for women like her to live longer lives, then we're all in.
Dr. Ann Murray was a neighbor to the Barrs, and in memory of Carol, she announced the Murray Foundation would be sponsoring 3 $10,000 scholarships that would be renewable for 4 years. The program also set up 3 $2,500 one-year scholarships as well, all available to high school girls in 54 Eastern Kentucky counties. Officials say that the impact of this scholarship program will most definitely be felt by those girls who are awarded the scholarships. But Congressman Barr says that the impact can go further in creating role models for future generations of women in STEM.
That Carol was a go-getter. She was a go-getter. She always used to say, you know, just get it done. And this scholarship will be for go-getters, just like her.
The fund will continue to create young women leaders in STEM and create those role models for young women, including my daughters.
The deadline to apply for a scholarship is March 12th, 2022. Reporting in Richmond, Jim Stratman, WKYT.
The director of a Central Kentucky food pantry destroyed by fire says food needs for the holidays and through the winter will be met and then some. The Garrett County Food Pantry was destroyed by fire 2 weeks ago. Now they are operating out of a new home that could soon be permanent. Pantry Director Gregory Cash says he believes everyone in the community who needs a meal this holiday season can find one there.
It's a true Hallmark movie moment. It really is, because you know we struggled for a long time just to be able to make it month per month, and now we've got so much blessings coming in.
The Garrett County Food Pantry has a 1-year lease on the building, which once housed a convenience store. They hope it will be their permanent home eventually.
High pressure in place today, keeping things on the drier side as we have seen during the afternoon. And just the only thing is, at the same time, it's kept us on the cooler side as well. Time-lapse camera from the University of Virginia at Wise. A fantastic sunset in progress, by the way. You see that sun setting, lighting up the underside of some of those high clouds we've seen. That's a UVA Wise. Look at what we're dealing with right now at Buffalo Mountain. Absolutely picture perfect outside as that sun continues to set, lighting up the underside of those clouds red. And then you see the orange and the yellow as that sun hits the horizon. Get out there and enjoy it out there this evening. Notice, too, we're already at 39 degrees. A lot of us now falling into the low 40s or below. Look at Wise now sitting at 32. But it's going to get we're going to have another cool night tonight around the region. That's despite cloud cover moving in, giving us a little bit of a blanket as we head into the overnight hours. Backing on out, you see the main area of rain and snow across portions of Indiana and Ohio. That's where it's going to stay, but we're still keeping an eye on it as we head through the nighttime hours. Mid-30s for tonight, under partly cloudy skies. Just make sure you get out there and see that sunset here real quick before the sun completely goes down. Now, we've got warmer temperatures on the way in the forecast as we head towards the midweek, and I'll have the details on that coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. If you are looking for a way to lighten up your holidays, Letcher County has you covered. WYMT's Chas Jenkins has more on the upcoming Lights on the Pond event.
Saving people a drive to Bristol by bringing something new to Letcher County.
It could be a little circuit. You could ride to Jenkins and go through Fish Pond and then go to Prestonsburg or Kingdom Come, either way, and get out for evening and see the lights.
Choosing Fish Pond Lake in Jenkins for its unique loop.
So it's just a good location. It's in the woods. It's sort of picturesque already. You've got the lake as a backdrop, and you know, lights sometimes reflect off the lake, and it's just a good location for it.
Already finding new ways to improve the event for next year.
Build some lights that will actually float on the lake. I mean, the event's called Lights on the Pond. So next year, hopefully, we'll have those constructed, and will be trees and little scenes floating out on the lake as well.
Made possible through many partnerships, including one with 103.9 WXKQ.
They play Christmas music every day, starting after Thanksgiving through the end of December. So we've asked people when they're coming up here and driving around, kind of tune into their radio station and listen to Christmas music, kind of set the mood.
Something new for the county, helping out tourism.
I really feel we need to build our tourism from here out. You know, we need the folks in Letcher County telling about what they experience here, and they could be our best ambassadors for other people to come to the area.
Brightening up the holiday season out on the lake. In Letcher County, Chaz Jenkins, WYMT Mountain News.
Already a beautiful area there even before the Christmas lights. The event is free to the public. However, Christian says they are accepting donations to help improve the event in the future. One Clark County girl got some special gifts from the Make-A-Wish Foundation today. Since birth, Kyla has suffered from cystic fibrosis that she's has to take daily medication and other treatments to help with. Through it all, though, she has found a passion in art and uses that passion to draw, color, and create custom notebooks. To help and grow this passion of Kyla's, Make-A-Wish and Macy's partnered to gift her with more art supplies and announced that Kyla is getting a space of her own to make art.
My room, and I sleep in there. I don't want it to get dirty. And outside of the house, it could just be mine. They can't tell me to clean it up.
The space, which the family is calling a she shed, is still being built to the family specifications, but Make-A-Wish expects to get the shed out to the family's home by early spring. Today, of course, is Cyber Monday, and Kentucky businesses that moved online to survive the pandemic are now using those platforms to thrive. Businesses like Schimpf's Confectionery in Jeffersonville, where cinnamon red hots are, well, red hot in more ways than one. It is one of many candies the company is cranking out that barely have time to cool down before they're out the door. Those in charge of the city staple, which opened in 1891, say they only see things going up from here.
I see it growing a lot more. Each year it gets busier and busier at Christmas time.
In the meantime, despite online sales, in-store lines are not getting any shorter. The family of 5 in charge of the shop say the main obstacle between them and even more business is a lack of staffing. Now, things are not as sweet for our neighbors to the north, where Canada's maple syrup industry is in a sticky situation. The Quebec Maple Syrup Producers, a leading trade group, says it is tapping into its reserves to deal with supply strains, releasing about 50 million pounds of syrup, almost half of its stockpile. Quebec produces about 73% of all maple syrup. This year, about 133 million pounds of syrup were harvested, which is about the average, but sales have climbed 21% compared to last year, leading to the shortage. And maple syrup is far from the only thing in short supply right now. President Biden met with top business leaders this Cyber Monday, the busiest online shopping day of the year, to discuss ways to help ease supply chain backups and rising prices. CBS's Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
The president convened a roundtable of top retail executives at the White House as his administration tackles a major slowdown in the delivery of goods and supplies, coupled with inflation.
Consumer spending has recovered to where it was headed before the pandemic.
Last month, he laid out several steps to address the backlog, including expanded work hours at several major ports and warehouses, and billions of dollars for port upgrades.
And we've seen some progress in that effort, with a number of containers sitting on docks for more than 8 days, down by over 40% this month.
Our supply chain is strong and robust. And we have ample product inside of our stores.
The White House and congressional Democrats say the Build Back Better Act will help lower inflation, but Republicans who oppose the bill disagree.
I view this as a back-breaking bill for the country with the kind of expenses, the spending, the adding to the debt, the inflation.
The president's agenda, the Democratic agenda, is going to lower costs for people across the country. That contrasts with what we're seeing from the other side, which is not a lot of ideas in the cupboard.
Senate Democratic leaders say they want to get the social spending measure to the president's desk by Christmas. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Tomorrow, President Biden heads to Minnesota to promote parts of the bipartisan infrastructure law and his social spending and climate agenda. Travel restrictions related to the newly named coronavirus Omicron variant do not currently apply to U.S. citizens, but many Americans are still having trouble getting home anyway. Lauren Kennedy Brady and her family are stuck in Johannesburg, South Africa after a safari vacation. Kennedy Brady says the airport is filled with frustrated passengers in the same situation.
It's just really hard. The game keeps changing, and we're just trying to keep a level head and keep our patients intact.
The family's trip got canceled 2 times because of COVID. Now the virus is what's keeping them there. Former Department of Justice official Jeffrey Clark may be facing charges. The House Select Committee probing the January 6th siege on the U.S. Capitol is scheduled to meet Wednesday to vote on a report that calls for Clark to be held on criminal contempt of Congress. If the committee votes in favor, Clark would be the second person to possibly face charges for not providing information under subpoena. Clark was a supporter of then-President Donald Trump's claims the 2020 election was a fraud. An actor accused of taking part in the January 6th Capitol insurrection said in court that he had, quote, divine authority. James Beeks, who played Judas in the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, is also a member of the far-right wing group the Oath Keepers. He was arrested last week and had a hearing. Beeks' claim of divine authority and rejection of the U.S. government's jurisdiction over him prompted the judge to consider sending him to jail. However, Beeks finally agreed to cooperate, and the judge released him on GPS monitoring. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the holiday season is a common time to take out a personal loan. What you need to know before you sign.
And I hope you like milder weather even in December, because we have exactly that on the way. I'll break down this week's forecast coming up.